Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and the Punisher. I walked into this comic book looking at, who was writing and hearing all the stuff on the side, not thinking it was going to be bad, knowing in my mind, this is going to be bad. Like this guy, Jason Aaron, like this guy's days of being a good writer are way back in the day. I got a pair of binoculars I might need to actually see this guy's good days. You know what I'm saying? So, color me surprised when I say this was actually a really solid comic book, man. There were like two things in here that I didn't like too much. One a little bit, worse than the other. But for the most part, this was solid. Holy crap, this was really good. I'd like to say welcome back, Jason Aaron. But after the debacle that just happened recently, hopefully all that stuff comes to a freaking end real quick. Anyway, let's get talking about this comic book for right now. The King of Killers. This issue is called. This is Book 1, Chapter 1, Blessing of War, by Jason Aaron, Jesus Saez, and Paul Azaceta. Color art by Dave Stewart and VC's Corey Petit on letters. There's a Alex Ross cover out here. The main cover is by Jesus Saez. Thank you. Interior artist should be the cover artist also, but there's an Alex Ross cover, just letting you know. There's also John Romita Jr. One here too, so there's that. Anyway, we start off with some random no-faced bad guy. Seriously, they're a bunch of Spartan-looking Grecian dudes who, you imagine, it's in Greece, so maybe they're all Grecian, I don't know. But anyway, most of them are a bunch of, they look like Ares from the Wonder Woman comic books where you can't see the face and there's a Spartan helmet over top. Anyway, and these guys, they're saying a bunch of stupid, this was the part that I actually hated the most about the comic book. It was really dumb. They have the whole, blessed are these 5,000 rounds of adamantium-tipped bullets. Why would you want adamantium-tipped bullets? One, they'd be too heavy. You know what I'm saying? Two, the whole purpose of a bullet being effective, we have found out with the use of the M16, is that, and I'm talking about from the A1 model, is that bullet goes in small and bullet comes out, the exit wound, much bigger. So it tears stuff up. With an adamantium bullet, it's going to go in, come out the exact same way it went in, which means you're going to require more bullets to actually hurt people. And it's not like it's a missile. What do you need to armor pierce in order to hit the things on the inside? Maybe if you're shooting at tanks, maybe that would work and hope that one bullet bounced around inside of a tank enough, but it'll probably go through, through the other side of the hull too. Adamantium tip bullet doesn't make any kind of sense to me. It makes no sense to me whatsoever, I think they first did that in that one Wolverine movie where it's like, why would adamantium necessarily pulverize adamantium? I don't know why that would happen. Inertia? Maybe you're going with the inertia theory? Anyway, all of it, it just didn't really make any kind of freaking sense. So like this whole opening scene was it was goofy. And I say that because of the strong opening of the comic book, there have been a lot of movies and novels that have really great openings, even just an opening line that tells you this is what the book is going to be about and I'm going to love it, or the movie, Really great stuff. I could bring up Pride and Prejudice for like probably the best opening line of any book. And I could go with like Dune, or Star Wars, the original of those. The opening scene of the Dune novel or the opening scene of the movie Star Wars. Great stuff that's just like, holy crap, this is what I'm going to be watching? Okay, forget about it. So I sit here and I'm sitting here reading this, and the other part that I didn't like too much about the comic book was that a lot of the words of the bystanders and the doctors, they all kind of blended in, which I guess was important to some degree, but they seemed like very generic words. It's one thing that one didn't seem bigger or louder or whatever than the others. They all looked like the exact same words talking. There was no real different emphasis of it. The language itself being used wasn't that great, but it was from Frank's point of view when his family was killed and the things that he has to hear people say. And it's like, holy crap, what? I was still nonetheless very impressed by this opening scene, and it had me right away. I loved this opening scene, right? I could have liked it more, but it was more than apt for what it was. It was a really good opening scene. It was solid. Yeah, the problem is, again, switching to this Spartan thing with these mystical, like a unstable molecule bunker buster ordnance. Anybody who knows what a bunker buster is, let me tell you what a bunker buster is. Most ordnance, ballistic or otherwise, ballistic means it's fired by projectile going up and then it lands as opposed to being shot from up above and fired down. So, like you shoot it, and then it arcs and slowly falls down. That's a ballistic, and then it'll land, boom, and then usually it's on impact it explodes. So that's not going to work very well with a bunker, which is usually dug underground a couple of feet, right? So instead, there's a fuse. So once it has impact, that doesn't trigger the explosion. It triggers the fuse that will cause it to explode. So what does that do? If this thing blows up like 1 to 3 seconds later, it allows the impact to actually dig into something and then blow up. So you're not just blowing up the surface dirt and everybody in the bunker is still okay. You're blowing up what's underneath. What does unstable molecules have to do with that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I know sometimes you guys don't like it when I say all the bad things of a comic book first and then praise it afterwards because you get turned off and whatnot. But this was the stuff at the very beginning of the comic book. It is what it is, you know? Anyway, so yeah, those things were annoying about the book. Everything else about this book, 100% solid. I sat there reading this thing like, holy crap. Even the bad news that I heard, people saying, oh, they're changing the Punisher symbol. You're 90% sure, minimum, that it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be some SJW agenda where they're like, oh, yeah, well, the cops are wearing the Punisher symbol, so we have to change the Punisher symbol. That's what I thought I was going into it. And let me just state first off, if you're a cop and you have the Punisher symbol anywhere on you or your vehicle or anything like that, screw you. You should be fired and possibly even possibly sent to prison, but you should definitely be investigated to see how many, every time that you've emptied your chamber or every arrest that you've ever made. And you should absolutely be held to the fullest account of the law, the unbiased law, so that you can actually go and serve time with the people you've put in prison. And maybe they can get a little revenge on you. Because protect and serve does not mean us versus them, Punisher symbol. Wrong answer. If you're a cop with the, with the Punisher symbol and all that stuff, you deserve the worst imaginable beatings possible, right? Oof. Ooh, to hell with you and anybody who looks like you. Good cops, you are not a good cop. If you like the freaking Punisher, if you put this, you could love the Punisher comic books, but you do not be the Punisher. You do not idolize the Punisher freaking equipment and stuff like that. You are terrible. I don't even like the idea the military use it necessarily, even when I was in the military. But there's still a clear-cut us versus them. If the cops have an us versus them mentality, the them are citizens who they're supposed to be sworn to protect and serve. So the Punisher symbol doesn't work. Next topic. That being said, I still don't want the Punisher symbol to be changed. But in this, I looked at the change. I was like, okay, well, that's not an SJW type of change. Just like horns and fangs and stuff like that coming out of protrusions, sharp ones coming out of this freaking symbol. Like, what the hell is this? It looks like it's something from, holy crap, it's from the hand. It's the Beast. I knew it. Wow. And it just made so much sense. So it led you into seeing what was about to happen next. It allowed you to make actual and accurate predictions. Holy crap. The author, the writer, Jason Aaron, he's using what he knows from the comic book world to actually lead us down a path. He's not using all these silly, stupid little tropes where it's, big explosion, look, surprise. I could care less about nonsense like that. Give me something good to read. How about that? Don't just, I'm going to trust my artist to make something spectacular. Screw you and your mom. I don't want to see that nonsense. I want to read something that's actually going to be engaging, and this was exactly that. It led me to make predictions that made sense. Later on, I'm not going to tell you what the ending is, but I predicted the ending because I thought to myself, has anybody ever done this before? Because this would be a really good idea. We're talking about the hand, people who resurrect people. Hi. And I'm like, what the frig? Sure enough. And I'm like, holy crap. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is the Jason Aaron that I have missed for years and years and years. The Jason Aaron who, months ago, a year ago, whatever it was, when I said I refuse to ever read anything by Jason Aaron again, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I bought this comic book not realizing that it was supposed to be Jason Aaron. I still have an issue with Jason Aaron with the whole, people say, the go woke, go broke. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure there's plenty of people who made money off of being woke. That one Rachel chick who wrote White Fragility stole that from a whole bunch of black people, right? A whole bunch of black women who were writing that stuff. She stole that information from them. She's making millions, close to billions off of that. And it's all a bunch of crap in the first place. So there's that. But holy crap, man. So people have gone super corporate rich by being woke. So I don't believe the whole go woke, go broke thing. What I do believe is when you start bowing to the woke media or the woke populace, bowing is one thing. They will cow you. They will make you bend over backwards, take it from behind, like, do everything imaginable. They will break you, and you will step out of line in their mind. Because these are people, like these mafia type people, who are just looking for a chance to eat each other alive. This cannibalistic culture of wokeness, where they're all trying to hurt, eat each other and gobble each other. And I fell for that nonsense a long time ago myself, before I finally realized, before I finally woke up from the wokeist nonsense. Look, don't be racist. If you're a racist, you're a scumbag. It's as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? I was just watching Rocky 3 today. I don't like being around these people. Well, you know what? Maybe they don't like you. What did I ever do to them? Not very aware, are you? What did they ever do to you? Like, it was really good stuff, the Paulie interaction. So, like, what are you being racist for? That's just stupid, right? Hate people for being stupid people, not for being a certain skin color or whatever, Nonetheless, whatever. Still, being woke, that's no excuse. That's not the opposite of this stuff. Actually, maybe it is the opposite, because it's the exact polar opposite. It's stupidity on another level. All that being said, all that being what it is, in this particular case, I looked at so much of this stuff and I thought this is probably going to be what this stuff is. Because Jason Aaron just recently, he accidentally used Pocahontas's secret name or something like that. It's like, it's a secret name. How was he supposed to know what it was? Like, there's a guy who writes Conan. He's in a Conan comic book and sleeping with some chick, and it turns out that it was Pocahontas' secret name, and she was using black magic. She was evil, demonic sorceress. I didn't even read the comic book because, for the most part, F. Jason Aaron. You know what I'm saying? This guy doesn't understand what it means to make a Conan comic book. Not if he's apologizing for accidentally using somebody else's name. Look, when you're writing a Conan comic or any kind of a Dungeons and Dragons-esque kind of, high fantasy sword and sorcery stuff, bro, you're making a, goofy name. Oh, I'm going to fight Hakanuku, the cultist warrior. I hope Hakanuku isn't some great warrior from some tribe that's other than white someplace, because I'll be canceled. But it's like, you're just making up names. And who's going to sit there and try and check this, all the different various possible spellings or whatever? I really don't think Jason Aaron did that on purpose. I'm not here to defend him, because screw that wokeist nonsense, Well, the guy goes on, he starts to apologize, and he's going to donate his money because he used a word that apparently he didn't know was a word. Look, you find out he knew it, and he was just like, I'm going to mess with people. Screw him. Cut off his leg and beat him with it, You can reattach it later. Maybe reattach it on his head. That's not my point. The idea is, if you're stupid, But this guy, it doesn't seem like he did anything wrong. He's apologizing. It's like, you apologize, you got to do what you got to do. Here's a writer who's not getting paid to write an apology, He goes and he does it, and then he's like, I'm going to donate the money. What are you donating the money for? What are you donating your salary? What are you doing that for? What's the purpose of this? I'm going to donate this. Get out of here. Once you go woke, you are beholden. Because now how hard is it to turn around? I know. It's hard to turn around, I have to admit. I got a little eccentric with some of my beliefs and some of the things I was preaching. I got preachy, It's nonsense. We all got to wake up and get out of this wokeist idea, all right? Don't be racist. Don't be evil. Don't be bad. Don't be a dick. That's the ultimate rule right there. Don't be a dick. How about that, right? Don't get in people's way, and don't tolerate when people get in your way. Try to walk around. If they keep walking in front of you, mow them down. You ain't freaking apologizing for every stupid thing. What is this, Canada? Oh, crap, it is. Anyway, my point is, freaking bow to that. So I can care less, right? But I see this comic book. And they're talking about, bring the rapists and the murderers and the child abusers and stuff like that forward. Right up in front, there's a white person, right? And he's wearing he's a big guy, and he's wearing a T-shirt. And I'm like, hey! But right away I realized, there's a Chinese guy or Japanese guy, whatever, some Asian guy right behind him. And then behind him, there's some black chick with dread. She looks like freaking Michonne from The Walking Dead. What? And I see there's a lot of diversity there. I'm like, oh. All right, well, good. Good. Because this isn't a world where white people are evil, white males specifically. White males are all evil and everybody else is good or, shades of good. No, that's not the real world. Everybody has a potential of being a dick. I don't care what's between your legs. I don't care how much melatonin you got in your skin. I don't care what your facial features look like. Everybody has the exact same potential of being a dick. And maybe they should be castrated. But at the end of the day, like, dude, this comic book didn't bring anything that felt woke to me whatsoever. Thank you. And go figure. When you didn't lean on nonsense like that and start virtue signaling to the freaking mafioso types out there, what happens? You're stuck making a good book. Imagine that. Jason Aaron is still a good writer. He at least still has the potential. Enough that I am genuinely interested in seeing the next issue of this. Because it led me, it guided me exactly. I felt like he was walking and I had a chain around my neck and I was being a good little doggy. Whatever. It felt like he knew exactly what he was doing and he was guiding the reader exactly where we needed to go. And he opened it up to have a lot of good Punisher-esque violent scenes in there. If more books could be like this, this was a good comic book. I genuinely enjoyed the hell out of this. And hopefully this goes to show a whole bunch of other people, you ain't got to just look at what other people are writing or saying and be like, oh, I guess it's going to be bad. Judge everything as it comes to you. I still haven't seen the Batman movie. I hear this, I hear that. We'll see. One of these days it'll come to streaming, for one of the channels that I already have. Or maybe I'll just download it. It's not illegal here in Canada. And I'll see for myself. In the meantime, it is what it is. Guys, enjoy this comic book. Read a Jason Aaron comic book that's actually really good. It doesn't have a bunch of nonsense in it with zero ideas, just little sparkly things. It's like the difference between watching Goldberg come down with dawn, explosions and fireworks everywhere, as opposed to Gilbert coming down, inhaling a freaking sparkler. Big difference. Wrestling reference there. I like doing those occasionally. Talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.